What's going on, everybody? A bearded staff here. Captain America Civil War has been out for a couple weeks now. Over the weekend it helped Marvel Studios reach the $10 billion with a B dollar mark. And so recently, my good friend Chad Coffin, aka Rad Chad, and we went and saw Captain America Civil War for the second time, and we sat down with the camera at his house and we recorded a spoiler discussion on it. At the end of the day, it ended up being around an hour and a half. And so after sitting down with it for a while, editing it up a little bit, I narrowed it down to 3 segments, each about 10 minutes apiece. This is part 2 of that discussion, where we talk about wasted opportunities from Captain America Civil War. So with that, sit back, grab a bowl of popcorn, grab a soda, whatever it is you like to drink and eat. Sit back, relax, get comfy, and enjoy. We're going into wasted moments from the movie. There's 3 big ones that I'll point out right away, and then we can get into them. The first one being Crossbones. Wasted. The second one, we've kind of touched on a little bit already, but War Machine and no casualties, not dying. And then you brought it up again too, the other Winter Soldiers. Those were the 3 big moments for me that was like wasted. Like, you could have done so much with these things alone, and it was just like, meh.
I'll let you start with Crossbones. I know you have some passionate feelings about Crossbones, so I'll let you take the Crossbones, and then you talk back to me for...
So Crossbones is like one of Cap's big baddies, especially in like the later runs. In the Ed Brubaker run, I know for a fact he plays a big role. He's one of Cap's like biggest bad guys, and what's his name? Grillo. I can't remember his first name, but the actor who plays him does a phenomenal job, not only in Winter Soldier, but the 5 minutes that we get Crossbones in this movie.
Literally 5 minutes.
And he looks badass. And that suit with like the punchy things, like I was completely sold on it from like the start. And then he blows himself up and tries to get Cap in that, but they kill him off right away. And it was just like, this is one of Cap's biggest baddies that you could have done so much with if you would have had Sin, who's Red Skull's daughter, if you wanted to eventually introduce her into that. They're romantically involved, and he's the one who kind of brings Sin to where she should be. Can't do that anymore because he's gone.
And let's be clear. This isn't a, oh, I'm gone and I'm back. He's toast. They literally burnt toast.
Yeah.
He blows up his whole vest thing. Full on explosion, about to die. Scarlet Witch, Wanda holds the explosion centralized to his body.
And they have this shot where he's just like, burning.
Screaming in agony. And then she throws him up in the sky and it takes out 2 full levels of a building. He's gone.
He's not coming back.
It's it.
He's done.
No comeback, kid. No, we're not gonna. No. He will not be a back.
It was just completely, there's like so much that you could have done with it, and just, nope, we're done. We're done. War Machine, and no casualties in the movie. Like, if you would have killed off somebody in this movie, it would have made a much bigger impact for either one side or the other. It feels more real. It then feels like a war, more so than what it did.
And you could have had it as a lead-in or an ending or something in between. Is it something that starts the war? Is it something that fires up a team in the middle of the war? Or is it something that ends? Like we had mentioned before, so when you look at the movie, the fight's going down. Cap and Bucky try to leave in the Quinjet. They're leaving, and they're using Ant-Man to distract him. He's full size, and Spidey and everyone, they're all fighting. And Iron Man and War Machine take off to follow the Quinjet. The Falcon follows. While this is all happening, Vision and his love interest that we finally get to see, which we can talk about later. He's consoling her. Oh, are you okay? You know, how are things going? And then Iron Man gets his attention. He fires off his infinity beam or whatever you want to call it. And instead of hitting Falcon, grazes Rhodey across his chest.
Hits the arc reactor.
Hits the arc reactor, it's off. He's going to the ground. You can see the, E equals MC squared. He's hitting the ground. With the velocity he is headed to the ground is not enough for Falcon or Iron Man to catch up. And that's the thing.
They're both like, shit, we gotta get to him, we gotta get to him.
Which is where I thought, and I know you probably feel the same way, it's like, okay, here's our Bill Foster. Here's our Goliath. Both sides are trying to save him. Nobody wants anyone to die, and he hits the ground. Falcon even checks if he's okay, or he apologizes. Says, I'm sorry, like, I never meant for this to happen. Boom, repulsor ray. I mean, Tony Stark is kind of a dick. It's what he is.
Yeah.
But we love him for it. But that was the moment that they could have. That's the walkaway. But again, why did this happen? Why did they not do it? Because they were already working back into their other storyline. They were taking us away from probably one of the coolest all superheroes we've seen and some we haven't involved fight, to take us away. To go to Siberia, we're taking a 4-hour flight, probably with a layover in Moscow, to get to Siberia, and they take us away from a fight and leave us with nothing. And maybe that's why. Maybe that's why they don't kill him off in the war. Goliath dies, boom, everyone stops. People are freaking out, so maybe that's why we didn't get it, because they tried to put too much of a movie.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it would have just made a bigger impact, and the whole pretty much like tying everything up at the end, like that note that Steve sends to Tony being like, yo man, sorry, but hope we're still cool. And pretty much Iron Man being like, yeah, okay. Like, we're gonna do our separate things because of like this law now, but we're pretty much cool. And it was like, if you just ended it where you don't know if like both sides are still, like if there's ever gonna be friends again, you add a death into that'll like solidify that feeling more, and it'll just add more weight to the movie. Like, we talked about how many times already that it's just that there was so much that this movie built up to just like be a waste. Like, nothing comes out of it.
So much got put in. The jar is only so big.
It's building up to like all this stuff, and then they're just like, no open end. They tied so many ends off. They could have ended it right when Iron Man sits down. He's like, man, that sucked. This bites. He leaves armless. Hashtag Disney losing arms. Yeah.
But Bucky leaves, Cap leaves, and you see Iron Man tries to stand, Tony Stark tries to stand, but boom.
I even nudged you in the movie. I was like, they could have ended it right here, and I would have been completely satisfied.
And then you tie up your ends with, oh, good, he got him some legs and he can walk now. And Vision is contemplating exactly how he should live life as an android when he's an iconic scene though, which is actually one of the covers for what is it, Avengers? What Avengers is it? Is it 117? I think it's Avengers 117, which is Sokovia Accords, is what links with it. It has Vision in his sweater vest playing chess on the front, which links it, which is irrelevant, but troublesome. And then you're bringing in all the Motorola brick phone that Steve says, hey, it's like a shout out. Call me. We don't need these tight ends. We know more Marvel movies are gonna come out. We know that in a couple weeks, like months from now, we're gonna go sit down and see Gambit and Black Panther and
Doctor Strange.
And Doctor Strange, and all of these movies will definitely include.
And you have Infinity War Part 1 and 2. You know that that's the moment that's gonna bring them together to take on like the big baddie who's gonna destroy all of reality itself. So tie it up and make amends there. Like, we don't need to put a bow on it and make everybody leave the theater like happy that, oh hey, they're back together, they're somewhat still buddies, but
make us think.
Yeah.
All right.
And then the third wasted moment is the Winter Soldiers at the end. There's more than one of them, and this is after Bucky. So Bucky, he's Cap for a while in the books. Eventually, this storyline happens called Fear Itself, and we think, oh, Bucky's dead again. Turns out he's not dead. He's back to like his old self. It's him and Black Widow. This is when they find out that there's more of them that are still around. Because one of them wakes up, he's all like messed up in the brain, and he's waking up all the other ones now. That is when you could have had that storyline. And so, like, they had it in this movie, and I was like, all right, great, we're going to get another awesome, like, kick-ass battle at the end where it's going to be, you're gonna have Iron Man, you're gonna have Cap, and you're gonna have Bucky, and they're gonna be fighting off all these like soldiers that are like Bucky. They're better than him because they showed that in a flashback.
And essentially a use for Baron Zemo to come out and be Baron Zemo. They even talk about his military expertise in the past.
Yeah.
And you know, in the comic books with his purple hood and his dual wielding swords, that was his thing. The shield and the sword, like that. Captain America and Baron Zemo, that's a huge piece. And I'm waiting for it. I'm like, oh, it's dark. He's gonna turn around in a chair, Godfather style, and they're gonna fight. And like you said, and then
they come in and they're all dead, they're all shot in the head. He's like, oh, I didn't want to use them anyway.
Oh, they did, so if it makes you feel any better, they died in their sleep. No,
yeah.
no,
no,
no. I think the big thing is you waste all these characters, and like you said, the comics have a storyline for this, and regardless of a fight or not, or whatever you want to do, don't waste these characters. Like you're saying, Buck and Natasha, they have the potential to have this relationship, this love interest.
Oh, they can still do that, though.
And I think they could, but if you think of it this way, like you said, Buck and Natasha down the road, they find these people, they're breaking out, they're causing trouble. Do we have a Black Widow solo movie? Do we have a Black Widow and Bucky movie on their own?
She plays, I don't think you read this, so I'm going to lend this to you someday, so I'm not going to spoil it for you, but in this same storyline, she plays a very pivotal role, and it's something like just the way that it ends is kind of like earth-shattering to this whole like small world, and so I'm not going to spoil that for Chad here because it is.
Can't do it.
Oh, it's a fantastic story, and it's the perfect wrap-up for Ed Brubaker's run with Bucky Barnes. There are things about it that I don't like, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, if you're going to leave on that note, like, I can respect that. And so, yeah, she does play a pivotal role. If they would have had that fight scene with all of those Winter Soldiers and Cap and Iron Man and Buck
and Black Panther hiding in the shadows.
He joins in, and you get, like, Baron Zemo. If that would have made this a 3-hour movie, I would have been fine with that. If you give us this like 20-minute, like half-an-hour fight scene,
34 minutes, 34 minutes,
and then like if you had that fight scene, and then they're just about to like knock out Baron Zemo, and that's when he's like, no, wait a minute, boom,
turns on the video, and then he wanders off and crawls away, and you still have the same ending.
Yeah.
The movie ends, and I'm glad the whole movie you're sitting there watching it. It's on the cover of the Civil War comic book, but the iconic scene, the shield and the Republic, and the red and the blue, and it's. I waited. I was waiting. I'm sitting there in my seat, and I'm there with my cousin. I'm punching him. I'm like, dude, where's my scene? What's going on? And then they had it at the end. So I guess I didn't waste every opportunity.
So there you have it. There's part 2 of our spoiler discussion. If you missed part 1 where we compare the movie to the book, I'll leave the link in the description below. Please, if you liked this, subscribe to my channel. And if you liked this video, check out some of my other videos. My recent videos that I've done, I had a Prepare for War series, all leading up to Captain America Civil War, and I also have a spoiler-free discussion up as well. So, if you liked this video, please check those out. As always, thank you all so much for watching. That's all the stuff I got for you today. We'll see you next time.